A recent study by the African Academy of Science found that a number of factors, including the individual, family, societal, and work environment, contribute to whether a woman finds a STEM career appealing and determines her success in these fields. Research has also found that family support plays a major role in the success of women in science.
Women in science today can help shape science or the scientific community by being more involved with the younger generation. If we want more women scientists, we need to have more women scientists that look like the future, where we've got different ethnicities, we've got women coming from different backgrounds, and that will start harnessing the value that we want to see in the future.
So I think our role as women in science in making sure that we have scientists in the future is to constantly go and fetch the women to come and join science. If we don't fetch them and we don't encourage them, there's many other opportunities in people's lives to have careers. But science is incredibly exciting, and science will always be there. We've seen now that with the pandemic, the importance of scientists being able to assist with responses to the pandemic and have the right things being done.
I think in an increasingly digital future, we need women in science that understand what does the future look like. We need futuristic thinkers. We need women that are going to be more exposed to things such as the Industrial Revolution, coding, software development, where we have women that are being mentored and understand where the world is going when we speak about the future, so that they can actually have those resources with them and take them along so that they can be women of the future and women of science of the future.
So the digital future in science is so often discussed. Being in statistics and mathematics, we are very acutely aware, and we've been very acutely aware for a long time, of the importance of computers and digital awareness. In fact, it's gone beyond maths, statistics, and computer science, and other fields also need these skills. There's a huge need of data science skills in South Africa and in the world.
Women in science of the future have actually a very different landscape that they can be working in. If we are looking at a future that is free from discrimination, if we are looking at a future that is free from having all of these structures that were in place in the past, it's a very exciting pathway for women, since they will be able to study science without prejudices, study sciences, and being able to just work through the scientific field with the support and mentorship that they need in the digital age. I think a lot of women can be excited about science or looking at a future in science because of so many different cool things that are available, and where the world is going now. It is a very exciting place to be. It's a very enticing place to be, where you can have your own changes and your own thinking. And I think the world is your oyster.
The young women in science at the moment, they are going to need technology, the use of technology. It's very broad, so they need to have access to technology. They need to be able to know how to use technology. They need to be able to know where to go from point A to B. They need to know how to do it, not just what to do it, when to do it, things like that. And the other thing is, in this era of digitalization, for you to get knowledge, you don't really have to be one-on-one with the person. So you can learn through internet, you can learn through technology wherever you are, you can access everything. So in this era, we shouldn't be worrying about it's far. You can reach as far as people from Limpopo, as far as people from Gauteng. You can bring them together in one webinar. You share the information with them. You can do an online conference where you share the information with them.
So mentorship in science is really, really essential. It's not the type of career that you sort of stumble across. Someone has to have shown you what happens, what is this used for. People don't know often that science is behind the things that we're experiencing in our daily lives. And until someone points it out to you as a mentor, you don't know, and you might be really interested in that and then pursue it. So mentorship is incredibly important, especially for our young women, that they know that there's possibilities, they're allowed to go into science. And a mentor is the perfect position to enable that.
Mentorship plays a very important role in shaping the next generation of women in science. We need to have more opportunities and platforms to actually generate conversations on science amongst young women. Mentorship is something that is very personal because you get to experience the different relationships between a mentor and a mentee and help them unpack the sort of experiences and problems that you have faced as a mentor to your mentee, so that they can also navigate through this myriad of problems and societal issues that we are facing.
It's very important in a sense that even myself, I do have a mentor, not just one, I have mentors actually. And my mentors, they are not from one specific field. I have a mentor in the field of science, and I also have a mentor in the field of farming in general. So if you have challenges and then you go to your mentor, they already done something similar to you. So you will learn a lot from them. They have better experience, they have more experience, you will learn from them. Should you get stuck, you go to them, they will lay out the things for you. And the other role of having a mentor is that you have someone to look up to. If one day you wake up, you decide, I'm not going to do this, that someone will remind you each day that you need to keep going, you need to push, you need to do this. Like yesterday when you called me about this, I told my mentor that I don't think I'm ready for this. Then she was like, you are Rebecca, you are always ready for this. So I was like, oh, okay, let me just do that. So a mentor is really important in guiding you to do even better. The mentors, they are able to even identify your weaknesses. They are able to identify your strength. They are able to know even other things that you might not be aware of about yourself. And they are able to guide your future in that case.
So digital transformation and being equipped to use your computer is incredibly essential going into careers in the future, and not just in scientific fields, but also in your business fields. As well as other. And I think if we're not equipping women and we're not encouraging women to know that they can also be a computer programmer, they can also work there's absolutely no reason why a woman can't also be a computer programmer. Women are also good at mathematics, and computer science is a lot based on the logic of mathematics. So we need to encourage that more, and that needs to start at school level.
The role of developing technology is quite an interesting part, and it really impacts us as a society, and just having women to be able to have that background and play within that world of developing technology. We've got a lot of changes that are currently happening and are going to be happening in the future. And as a woman, you are able to experience those and learn from those to be able to have a career in science that is not limited to the sort of standard careers or the standard ways of living that we know now.
Young girls including digital skills in their education at school, as well as if they go into science, is incredibly important. The world is becoming ever so more digital. We basically can't survive if we don't have a smartphone on us at all times. And if you're not equipped in that, you're going to be left behind. You will not be able to perform your career if you don't have the basic skills in terms of that. So if we're not educating that at school and we're not educating that at university, then we're absolutely missing a boat.
Women in science need to focus specifically on the digital skills. I think it's quite an unexplored part, specifically in South Africa, when it comes to having those skills and that knowledge, because it opens up a whole different world that is not only on a local or a national scale, but allows women within our country to be able to reach different parts of the world with their digital skills, being able to actually put our country on the map. And it's very important for us to actually put funding and put focus on digital skills for women so that they can reach those levels and those heights.
So the future of science is incredibly exciting. Every day it's changing. Every day we have new technology, and that opens new possibilities for new research. And women are totally equipped for this environment and need to stand up and take their place in it. So my role as an academic has multiple parts. One of them is teaching, one of them is supervising, another is research. And I absolutely love what I do. I particularly love supervising postgrad students, and that is where you are growing a young academic, a young woman into academia. And being passionate about that is something that I will continue to do for as long as I'm allowed to do. And this is the way to bring a woman in, to encourage them to be a voice and make sure that people are pursuing the path that they are passionate about.
Changing policies in the workplace will allow us to have more diverse women in the workplace. It will allow us to have women that actually feel safe in the workplace, women to be able to think and function in a workplace that has policies and strategies that speak to them as a people, speak to them as a community, and allow ideas and innovation to flow within those sorts of environments. Once we hone in on those policies and ensure that diversity and inclusion are not something that we speak about, but something that we live, we will start retaining women in science. We will start retaining women in careers, because we will feel like companies are not only there to make a profit, but companies are there to think about their employees, to think about the sustainable future, and also just to think about different types of people coming from different backgrounds.
So young Black learners who are discouraged to go into science by their family structures is something that really always worries me, and it concerns me. And you, as an academic or as a lecturer, you can talk to them and you can encourage them, but if it's not coming from both sides, it's incredibly difficult. So I think the way to solve that is communication. For universities to go to schools, to go out to communities, to communicate science and say what's possible, that this girl could be in science, because here I am, I'm a woman telling you that I'm in science.
Okay, the scientific community can change the perception of science, especially in the Black communities, through engaging various stakeholders, going back into the communities and simplifying or clarifying the field of science, because the field of science is very broad. You can have agricultural scientists, you can have animal scientists, you can have engineers, you can have all those. They need to align with what the kids maybe want to do. They need to be more practical. They need to be more fun. So you need to know what you're going to study.
What excites me about science as a whole and being a woman in the forefront is to be able to make changes that will be seen by the generations that will come after, to say that I played a role in changing the landscape, in changing the policies, in changing the procedures, or playing an active role that will allow more women to be able to be scientists and be cool scientists, and for it to actually be something that they look forward to, and just creating environments for women that are from generations to come to enter the world of work without these discriminations and prejudices.
So I think women in science and their future is really dependent on supporting women. That is what it boils down to. We need to create environments where women are encouraged to have a family and be a scientist, and that they're not held back for it. That it's not, oh, you're not working hard enough. You must be part of the party, and everyone needs to be treated equally and be provided opportunities. This boils down to providing funding for childcare, giving enough salary for childcare, making sure that there's flexi hours, that people can work where they need to. If there's an emergency, there's an emergency. And this is a little bit in place, but I think we mustn't forget it, and we must make sure that into the future we really focus on it and support women.
Personally, I have a personal dream of my own where I would like to work with high school students in the areas that I live in. I'm currently part of an Ambassadors for Good project in my working world, whereby we look at specific projects where we can help people in our different communities. And I think I'm excited about the prospect of just touching a person's life and assisting them to realize their own dreams, and that it is actually possible and it's not only a pipe dream.
But I think as women, we must also remember that we are strong, we are powerful. That is why that we are the mothers in society. And we must go and take our place in science. We have all the power, we have all the possibility and all the potential. And we shouldn't let someone tell us that we can't do it because we're a woman and a male can do it.
You know, word of encouragement is that there are resources out there, there are opportunities out there. And when you have resources, you don't have to wait for someone to tell you what to do, when to do, and how to do it. You just need to go out there and get it yourself. And the other things, there are also other mentors that you can get out there. So you need to go out and explore new things, find new ways of doing things. Don't just limit yourself. And then you also need to focus and then eliminate distractions.
If someone is choosing a career in science, you need to be able to look at the environment that they are growing up in for them to actually even consider science as a career. You need to look at it from the lens of the learner and not from the lens of having an output of people working in the science community. And once we start having more understanding from that point of view, we're going to be able to create policies, create funding that actually makes sense for the people that you want to attract into the science community.